Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is in your area. Welcome into Flying with Mike. And yeah, we are behind schedule big time. Just held up one by an update, which really, in all scheme of it, in all fairness, to explain, did not take long. Release candidate didn't take long for 5. I'm confused by a video that's been out there saying something about improved scenery and all of this, 53 gigs and all. It didn't happen on this. So I missed something in that. And it wasn't a video that you run, it was just like an ad. So I'm like, great, I probably was on spam. But anyway, welcome aboard, folks, as we like to call this now. Part of the delay was me getting the plane ready, so we step on, we go. Uh, so, but let me first say, um, we're going to start here in Mogadishu, Somalia. And I know for some people that is not a great place. But I'm running with a tour, and I hope this is the last. I know Entebbe is part of the tour. We've been there before, but we're in Somalia. We're about to get out. So headed up to, and I'm not even about to pronounce it. I started enough international crises last time trying to pronounce people's names. I'm not even about to pronounce cities because I will cause world wars. Um, but it's I'm not even going to try the Irit Ray. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's in Africa, just north of the Horn, if you're kind of familiar with it. Right there on the Red Sea, I believe it is. Let me check my little map here. Yeah, right next to the Red Sea is where we're going to be. So, but however, up, like I said, north, actually, it's going to be interesting. We flew out at Djibouti. I love that airport, folks. I'm going to have to fly into that a million more times. But Djibouti, we flew into a few weeks ago. We're going to overfly it on the way. So without further ado, let's get into the airplane and get in here and see what kind of damage we can do here in Eastern Africa. Okay, we're flying the Flight Factor A320, folks. It is out there and available. Links for it can be found. I'm not 100% sure. I did. Okay, you gotta love it when the rampies just run over us with a camera. I couldn't see you, man. Look, you ought to get out of our way. Anyway. But you can find the Flight Factor and a whole bunch of stuff over at the X-Plane store. A lot of it is up to date with X-Plane12. Some isn't. Read the details. Make sure before if you're doing it for X-Plane12. Things are coming over here. To me, it appears faster than the Microsoft world. But then I wasn't in the Microsoft world or haven't been for 3 years, so I really don't know. And no offense, it's not really high on my wish list. So now I've heard a couple streamers over the last 24 hours while I was at work, might have been last 12, having frame rate problems with release candidate 5. Real quick here on the ramp. Oh, it didn't pull up. Try it again. There we go. I seem to be doing pretty good here. And most importantly, this is great, folks, to see it, but this is where we want it to be screaming. And folks, it looks pretty good in here too. So, little confusion there, but I don't know how he's set up versus how I'm set up, what his rig is like and what versus my rig. So a lot of variables here. When you go in to hear people saying stuff, you got to dig a little deeper to find out where are you coming from. Because like I said, you just saw mine. Here, I'll even be so kind. Pull up here, we'll go to graphics, and here's how I am set up, folks. I find this gets me the best overall experience with X-Plane12. I get dynamite clouds, still get some shadows, rendering distance into world objects, which is my big thing on me. Textures and all, I get the best I can from my system. And if you want to find out about it in the stream there and about, you'll see my specs. All right, so like I said, we are ready to go. Last people are coming aboard, and we're going to run our final checks here before getting pushed back. So bear with me here. Okay, so we've got the McDo all set up. We've got the flight control unit right here all set up. We're ready to push. So while we wait on those passengers to come aboard, let me just check something here. There we go. Since I forgot it both flights, let's make sure we're running it this time, last time around. And real quick before we get into this pre-flight, folks, I know a lot of people out there tell me, Captain Mike, you really shouldn't show your crashes. Well, one of them not intentionally crashed, but intentionally kept so developers could see the problem. The second one, I have no idea what caused the trim to go out, folks. I still don't. I don't know if it's not an X-Zebo update. It sounds like Zebo has not updated since all these betas and releases came out. So I have no idea what caused that. So I leave it up there. Who knows? Reason I do, I learn from you all. Just like I hope you can learn from me. And I completely stressed in the very first one with the C90, this, folks, is simulation. Do not do what you see Flying with Mike do in the real world. You could find the real FAA slapping you with some heavy fines. The virtual FAA, I bribe them so they don't fine me. No, just kidding. They could care less because there isn't a virtual FAA. So I just try my best to do what I can to fly it as real as I can to an extent. Okay, it's a simulation, folks. So guess what? Yeah, I'm gonna fudge. And I'll be honest, I may not actually know. So please take this as entertainment, not gospel, and use it in the real world. If you do, those videos could look like you. Anyway, let's get back here and talk about the flight. So up here, by the way, we are still having a problem with Sim Toolkit. So if by chance anyone out there coming through here happens upon this stream, the live map isn't full. Oh wait, yes it did. Disregard. Rewind. This was a test of the I am a human test of it, that I am human. Yes, it does work. I'm sorry, it was last flights that wasn't working. Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, so you get Sim Toolkit, and this is what you get. Let's do the load sheet. 135 people now are biting their nails back there in the back to fly with Mike. 11,840 kilograms. Yes, we're in kilograms. I don't know how to switch the plane into pounds. The EFB file that I had for X-Plane11 does not work in 12. And if it does, please someone tell me how to make it work. So, with that, we're going to have a zero fuel weight of 53,084 kilos. You see the ramp weight, and there's 9,000 pounds of, or 9,000 kilos of jet fuel put on board. All right, so cost index today is 11. You'd be shocked how many, I hear a lot of guys go, oh, I'm going to raise that up so I go faster. Okay, fine. You know, they can. I happen to have come across the cost index PDF for a lot of the major airlines out there, and I was shocked how low they are. And as I understood it, the higher up you went, the faster and least efficient flying you do. So I'm guessing that's why they're lower for more efficient flight. It was really an interesting document. So coming out of Mogadishu here, we'll go to 38,000. Finally, folks, wrong one. Let's just click this over. It's a neat little tool within SimToolkit. Shows you both. Oh gosh, excuse me. Breakfast is now trying to say I'm not going to settle with you well. Which was about 4 hours ago, folks. 4 or 5 hours ago. All right, so here's our route. Some interesting things right here, folks, you can get. Now, you can get the same information right on these little icons, but if you click here, you've got them bigger, easier to see. So if you don't know, got that, your loadout page, radio frequencies, and if there's weather, it'll be here. I had a feeling it would say that. Same with this one. So anyway, it gives you a little bit of heads upness. Now where we're flying, the weather and all is spotty if we get any and all that good stuff. So over here is your flight plan. As long as you use the Lido from SimBrief, it shows up nicely like this. If you use any of the others, it could get kind of tough to read. All right, so with all of that, here's what I was alluding to that wasn't working Tuesday. However, is today. It wouldn't get to this point. It would get to where you see the countries, you could see it, but it just wouldn't go that one step and stop spinning. So they figured it out, or it figured it out on its own. Who knows? Good thing is it's working today. So there you get an idea. And the traffic, which isn't usually very heavy in Africa. All right, so with that, folks, I've just been told our last person is aboard. So let's get SimToolkit out of the way, and let's finish up the pre-flight real quick. I'm going to bring TOPCAT in so you get an idea of our takeoff numbers. TOPCAT is a payware utility. It's mainly for Microsoft products, but can be used to assist you in X-Plane. It won't connect to X-Plane, although sometimes I wonder. But it really does a good job. Last flight we used it with Zibo, spot on. I mean, numbers matched across the board, everything. So there it is up there. Right now, this update, by the way, was as of, well, today, 15th, 1400Z, so, well, considering it's almost 1400 Central Time in an hour here, a little old. That would have been about 8 o'clock my time in the morning. So, but we had a wind 080 at 14. This may change some things I'm planning, which is fine. Change is good. And 1009 for the altimeter. Runway, go figure. That sky, bone dry. Should be an option there for me to pick bone dry. And that's pretty good for our takeoff weight. Now, I'm planning 2-3, but with a wind at 14 knots, could be rough. We'll recalculate if we need to out there. Currently set up is, we should be getting a tail of 12. So here's our numbers. Now, let's get the McDo up here. And I know one of these days I gotta learn what McDo stands for. I know CDU, Control Data Unit, but M, I have no idea. All right, So let's go to the perf page. And let's take a look versus TOPCAT. TOPCAT came up with 145, 146, 146. 42, 142, 147 is what another program I use came up with. That's all great, folks. All perfect. That reminded me of something I needed to do. Bear with me 1 second. V2147. Oh, I put 1147. There we go. Got those in. All right, we are flying for Millennium Aviation again, folks. So, some things here. Here's where... Okay. TOPCAT's away. Okay, sorry about the dead air there, folks. All right, so let's get this thing pushing back, get that ladder off the plane, and get to work. All right, to do that, all we do is come to service. Now, when you first come to it, all you'll do is click on for the ground power unit. It'll turn blue, just like you see chocks. Click on for the chocks. Now, to load fuel, you got to call it. To load packs, you got to call. Show the little nuances there. Cargo, same thing. All right, nuances here. You can load by stairs, which, guess what? What's a staircase out there? Look at that. Ain't that neat? Okay. Or you can load by gate, and I'll show it down here. Whichever one you select, if you select gate, guess what? There won't be stairs. So we're going to go ahead and remove and close. Okay, and they are gone. Let's go ahead and all doors are closed. Let me check that in all of my, showing off the plane, I didn't accidentally trigger something. Okay, all. Okay, and all we have are chocks. Good. Okay, slides are armed and readied. Seat that I had coming back from Mesa still looks good out there. All right, let's do it. Better push back.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Oh, we got smarty pants today. That's what I call it.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Alrighty, so as you heard, the tow is on its way. I'm going to make sure you heard it. And bear with me, folks, I am still battling a cold, although I'm in the latter phases of it. Well, I keep saying that. But next week could send it back into having fun. As our weather here takes a turn for winter. Oh wait, winter's on the calendar, so you know what you expect. And while we're waiting on him, let me kind of just look through the chat.
Are closed and we're ready to connect.
Okay, we're ready to go here, folks. tow vehicles. Let's get the beacons on and get rid of, first off, let's get rid of the chocks. They already did, good. Beacons. To some here at the airport I work at, they love seeing those turned on. Alright, and we're just waiting for him now. And again, folks, that was done in 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Gonna try and get it even faster in the
Go
future.
kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Alright, as he said, let's go ahead. Kill that parking brake.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
We'll get back just a little bit before we light them up. Okay, and to light them up, as he says, all you have to do, folks, turn the engine mode selector, that is this knob here, to start. Sounded real tough, isn't it? Engine 1 or engine 2? Let's do engine 1. And it takes it from there, folks. Whew. This right here is your indication you're spooling up. Now, if you miss the avail that comes up here and don't see this gray box, you missed it. That's all it is, folks. And then you can crank up the other engine.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
There, you saw avail before I went for the parking brake.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
And you can still see it, but say we came back up and it looks like this. Well, is the engine still spooling? Can we fire up the other one? Well, the gray box isn't here. We don't see everything's stable, so yeah, why not? Number 2. Okay, let's just see any warning messages. Does not appear to be any. Go ahead and disconnect.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Get up here, see the pin. Hey, there they are. I'll just bounce back over here. Flash of the light lets him know I saw him. Let's continue on. Alright, so back to the middle here. Okay, we'll put the start switch back. Come up top. First thing we want to do, bleed off. Packs fine, APU off. Okay, in the middle, brake fan on, max on the auto brakes. Weather radar will turn on. Let's see, I think we used 2 last time, so we'll do 1. Go up to 5 right now for the tilt. Your tilt shows right there, folks. Oops. Spoilers. Hey, coming up was in the right spot to start with. Flaps 1. And we are ready to taxi. The last thing I want to do go to this page, which is the FCTL down here, and we do a quick. Did I kick off my parking brake? No. And basically, I am just looking to see that my surfaces are moving and centering. It really is a bad day when you leave the gust locks in, folks. You pull back and the plane don't come up. Into the runway comes pretty quick at 146 knots. Things seem pretty sluggish for frame rates in the 50s. I'm being generous because I think it was 60s. Okay, and then we'll just do this, kind of walk them all the way around. Okay. And unload that page. All right. We need to set our trim. Okay, now we can unload it. Okay, let's go ahead and taxi. Mogadishu traffic, Qatar 572, taxi to runway 23 for departure. And we'll head on out. Aha! Figured out something here. Alright, well, looks like we're going to be hitting the runway here real quick, folks. So let's do our takeoff check. Pass that test. All right, here we go. And for those of you watching us taxi down the runway, thank you for the subscription. That is one of the bennies that you get for subscribing. Thank you so much for supporting the stream monetarily. I don't even know the words to even express my thanks. other than saying simply thank you. Look forward to many more flights with y'all, and again, thank you for your subscription. I hope you enjoy the flight. All right, folks, we're back with you. We didn't miss much. We're still back taxiing runway 23. That commercial I started. If you aren't a subscriber, that's one benefit of being a subscriber. The other is I may task you to be a moderator if you so choose. I'm going to start requiring that of moderators. So if you're a moderator now and you would like to stay one, I would really hope you would think about subscribing. Otherwise, hey, not a problem. We love you following, love you when you come aboard. But I'm going to kind of hold the moderator to a little higher standard than just a normal follower. So, but anyway, folks, I want to thank you all. It's just, you know, being a part of Flying with Mike and what you've all shown me, taught me here. I am very grateful, folks. And with the holiday season upon us, following is great. So we're getting ready to do our turnaround here. And by the way, folks, while we're talking about subscribing, I understand you may not be able to afford it, but you know what? We still appreciate you being here and being a part of Flying with Mike. All right, brakes are set. Let's do our final checks. Takeoff normal, good. Takeoff config, cabins ready. Get the lights on. Cabin's ready, brake fans on, brakes are set, spoilers set, flaps set, we're good for takeoff. Okay, again, V1 folks, real quick wrap up, 142, rotating 142, climb out 147, and we're going to be turning pretty quick here on takeoff, so here we go. Set 50% here, get stable, brakes off. Tow gets set. Down pressure here, get a little back over here to the center line.
V1 rotate to V2.
That got a little squirrely on takeoff. Let's get that gear up.
Too low, terrain.
Gear up.
And, you know, there's one really annoying thing, and I've got to work on this map, get this key they're requiring. One annoying thing with Flight Factor that I've come across so far are these windows. I mean, I'm just kind of, why? I mean, why can't we just set things right here? I don't know. It's the why factor here. Now, one that they did do I kind of like. It's this one. So when I start doing system checks, that's pretty cool to have that pop in. But to have it fully not functional I'm like, why? You're the developer. I get it. I am the user. So I know where you're telling me to go. Just kidding. But anyway, it just, to me, why? And yeah, we got held up. We got a 4,000 foot restriction in our climb here. As soon as we clear the next fix here at 701, we'll get the clearance up to 10,000, folks. That's per the star. We're on the Ibril 1 departure. And here, let me first do something here. Let me know. We'll hear. Oh, it is set. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Let me bring up some Toolkit real quick before the climb. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Just delayed. I thought we were having connectivity issues again. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, we're starting our climb. You can hear the engines revving in the background. Idiot light just went off saying, hey, idiot, you forgot to go TARA. Is that loose nut behind the stick? Anyway, so MM701, you see the 4,000. 702, we're cleared no faster than 7250. And then we're cleared en route. So basically 702, 703, 707, 708, and Ibril is our departure. All right, so looking here, I don't see any ATC, nor do I really anticipate any, folks. Let me get in and make sure I've got all of our climb taken care of. Take off during. Okay, flaps are up. Spoilers, that I'm pretty sure I have not done. Okay. Brake fans need to also come off the brakes. You know, one thing I'm going to have to get in the habit of doing, folks, and I am very bad about not doing this. When you bring the gear up, folks, after takeoff, you should lightly hit the brakes for about 5 seconds or so to get those wheels stopped before you retract. And I've heard this, but I'll be honest, I've never seen a tire or seen the damage that gets done to these tires, folks, if you don't, bringing them up into the gear wells. I hear it's more of a thing on the older aircraft than the newer, but it's still a good habit, folks, irregardless. To tap those brakes, folks, I'm here to tell you, I am the worst at that. Even when I flew Arrows back in the 80s, I never tapped the brakes, gear up, and away we went. I don't know if that goes way back to the World War II piston age of airliners transitional age, whatever you want to call it, from the pistons to the jet age. And yeah, it supposedly was a big thing. If you didn't stop them, that could really do some damage to those pretty expensive tires. They ain't $300 a tire, I'm here to tell you, folks. And I think now tires go for like $400 or $500 a pop. Yeah, get ready for sticker shock, folks. Web gear. You should not be able to apply brake without the brakes on wheel switch activated. Huh? Okay, yeah, okay, Web gear, you've really lost me on this one. Should not be able to apply brakes on wheel. Oh. No. I read it perfectly. I mean, I saw the misspelling, but I got you there. I just did brakes on. So you mean, but you know, there are checklists that tell you to tap the brakes in the air to get the wheel to stop. The DC3, like I said, I know that's very old prop, but I don't remember them on any of the checks I did in the Arrows, Warriors, and Archers I flew. Okay, Warriors and Archers wouldn't have had it anyway, but the Arrows, I don't remember that. So, but yeah, somebody clued me in on it a few days ago, and I'd totally forgotten about that. So wheels, weight on wheels. All right, now I'm going to have to talk to one of the aircraft mechanics that come out for a Legion. Hopefully that's not you. Not knowing it. Because then I'll really feel bad.
18,000 feet.
All right, there's 18,000. We already passed transition a long time ago, folks. So we are now slowly getting up to cruise. Looks a little like this from our guy sitting in the exit seat over the wing. We'll be soon turning into Africa again. And up towards, I'm going to have to use well, see, now I actually responded on an emergency at Scott Air Force Base back in the 80s of an F-14. Now granted, not related to what we're, well, sort of, kind of. The parking brake engaged in flight somehow on one of them, one of the mains, and it spun down the runway. I'm not sure if he would have a idiot light in the plane telling him that or not, but yeah, that was pretty cool to see nothing but smoke at the end of the runway. Thankfully, the plane folks did not, other than spin down. He didn't eject, well, out of the cockpit, but into the cockpit might have been an ejection of a soily kind. I was keeping it PG, folks. Don't think about other things. He may have crapped his pants, is what I was trying to say. I didn't get him out of the cockpit, so can't swear to it, but it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't. Now, okay, so that makes a lot of sense there, Webgear. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to go see if I still have the checklists from the old days of the Arrow here. I have them for the Cessnas, but they weren't retractable gear either, so. X-Plane12 there, Webgear, I am actually really liking. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm not sure if you caught it. This is, by the way, first release candidate 5. It just released within the last 24 hours because we flew release candidate 4 Tuesday. But there came a message on YouTube saying something that X-Plane has new scenery, something like 53 gigs. I didn't catch the whole what you had to do to get it. I don't know the validity to that, folks. I'm treating it as spam right now because I have no idea what it was talking about, and I didn't get to see it very long. So, and it's probably spam, malware, all those good things eating up at my phone. No. That's why I try not to open up too much on my main computer so I don't get any of that in here. But if I find out, folks, any more on that, I will definitely get it relayed to you. It's a good reason to be in our Discord channel, folks. Here's an invite. Good place to come in. We're trying to beef up the activity in there, especially after streams to, you know, keep the stream alive, if you will, even though there isn't one going on. So, and that's where I'm learning a lot. Like Zebo has it, as I'm gonna be checking more into their Discord channel since the upgrade of Zebo into X-Plane12. So, and you know what? That right there could have caused my trim issues last flight. So, but that was wild. The trim just would not trim. So, completely nose up. Couldn't get the nose to come over to kill me. So, wait a minute. It did if this was real world. All right, so we've seen enough out the wing. There isn't anything to see. But I'll tell you, folks, that first Airbus flight I took, which was a couple of weeks ago, to Mesa and back, you know what? It wasn't too bad. To me, it was nothing more different than the Boeing 737. We flew, holy mackerel, 10 years earlier. You know, an airplane to me is an airplane. You know, the real only difference is, does it have props out there? Are they turbo or are they radials? Or are they jet engines? You know, that's about it, folks. To me, a plane is a plane. Now, if you get me up into the cockpit, now we're talking, you can tell me differences. All right, I'm going to get that paddle, move down here, pull up here to, what is that one? And of all the things on here, folks, I wish Flight Factor would find a way to get these working. And I'm also going to chide a little bit at Tollus, because at least they work on it, or at least the switches move. Whether they actually work or not, you know, that's a whole nother discussion. But when to have them, at what tilt angle, and what, that would really be cool if someone could put that into a manual. Or tell me, I'll figure out how to put it into a manual. I mean, just give me a few days and I can type it up. So, but yeah, that would be the one thing. I mean, I know there's some checklists like Zebo. X-Plane12, I think they had a checklist helping you to know when to move the tilt, but the radar itself may or may not work. So, oh, I didn't turn my landing lights off. Now, what was cool on the flight that I was talking about that I just did to Mesa and back, Arizona, over here, this panel was actually in the cabin, right against the door, right up against the wall where you came in and out of the plane. It was neat to see most of the features shown here were there. We're trying to get on with them all. One of these will bring them all up. There we go. This was actually up there, folks. And it was neat. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, it was just neat. And then she would, you know, tap, tap. And there. Pretty cool. All of these were up there, and it was pretty okay. That, not sure what audio is all about. Did this once before.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to climb, we would like to remind you that all flights of our airline are non-smoking. For your safety, the lavatories have been equipped with smoke detectors. When seated, we recommend to keep your seat belts fastened, even if the fasten seat belt sign is not illuminated.
And like I said, don't expect a lot of traffic here. I'm looking at Sim Toolkit. There's only a few aircraft around us, folks. Even airborne yet on here. Sim Unaware is very slow to update. Alright folks, I am just going to kind of let the plane head on up. We got about 4,000 feet to go. And we're just going to kind of kick it back, relax, enjoy. Hey, we're over the hump, folks. We're sliding into the weekend. Soon to be a real thing here in St. Louis, but that's another day. So, here we go, folks, with a little bit of music for the flight. All right, folks, we are reaching cruise. So, hope you enjoy the flight. Looks like roughly an hour and 43-ish minutes to our destination of Hotel Alpha Sierra, otherwise known as, and this, folks, is going to be my attempt at it, Asmara International Airport in Eritrea, Africa. Eritrea, Africa. I'm not sure if I'm even close, but anyway, folks, that's where we're headed. And in about an hour or so, we'll come back, talk about the arrival. It's pretty simple, folks. There are no stars. It's just coming in. We're going to shoot the ILS for runway 7 unless the winds are really kicking a wrong way. I can't get anything else out of aircraft coming out of there. So what this flickering is, I have no idea, folks. Been trying to figure it out without too much on the stream here, but I have no idea what's causing this flickering we've been seeing. So I don't know if that's potentially something out of release candidate 5. I don't know. Or conflict between flight factor and release candidate. I don't know. So hopefully it's not too annoying. Isn't yet, but it's going to be getting there quick. But for now, let's get those seatbelt signs off. The other thing, if any of you are associated with Flight Factor, these panels have gotten really tough to read. I don't know what could cause that, but boy, are they super hard to discern, especially the transponder down here. I mean, I get it, you're trying to put some realism into it, but folks, it's already bad enough trying to read some of these, you know. So anyway, just something, you know, call me a little whiner there. I'll get some cheese to take care of that. But to go with it, I should say. But beyond that, folks, questions about X-Plane12, I like it. Over the beta course, over the release that we're up to now, 5, and of course we're in the wrong area of the world. Hang on a second. The cold was calling to cough. I didn't want to do that in your ears. But anyway, we're in the wrong part of the world to really get to look at these new 3D clouds. I can't think of the streamer that was on this morning I was watching from Houston to Memphis. He mentioned the clouds were very much improved. Now, is that over 4 to 5? Because they looked pretty good 4. They have really improved. That's why I'm curious about what I was reading yesterday. And I saw it again with other release candidates. Something about going to an update, clicking scenery update, this and that. And I'm like, where are you talking about? So, if you see it, you know, hey, send it over to me. Let me take a look at it. So, but yeah, supposedly it's an improved scenery, and I don't know if all we're talking about are orthos being added in, because 53 gigs, that's a lot of storage space, folks, when you think about it. So, but enough from me. Let's just kind of kick back, relax. Hey, folks, I'll be watching the chat. Feel free to ask questions, talk amongst yourselves. Enjoy the flight, enjoy relaxing as we cruise on up to Hotel Alpha Sierra.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing cold drinks and a light meal. Please prepare your folding tables. Make sure your seats are in an upright position.
Alright, folks. Back with you here, wrapping up a system check that I just did, waiting on the fuel to balance out. I hope y'all are enjoying. First off, my apologies. Anything said earlier during departure was offensive. I do apologize. Let's see, 2360 coming up on 2350, and now all we're going to do then, folks, is reverse what we did. Turn these back on. Close the cross feed and continue on. All right. Like I said, the 2D panels, I don't mind. I just wish we could still work them. Like I can't do anything. Oh, there. Okay, so it's just not on them. Wow. Okay, strike everything I said in the very, very beginning, folks, about my only real thing that I'm like, why? I can still do it. It's just really weird. So in that case, thank you, Flight Factor, for the 2D panels. They do help. As long as they're not the only way to do things. Alright, folks, so we are, like I said, 38,000. Let me tilt down a little on the radar. That's pretty cool. Let's see if the seat would move. It does not appear to be. I don't even know if that's where you move it, to be honest. Anyway, so we're rolling on, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Got about another... that doesn't seem right. Hour and 17 to go. Alright, folks, as many of you all know, I do try to keep the stream in a family-friendly, Christ-pointed stream. That's why the apologies for earlier today when I let the stream slide a little out of my comfort level, and yeah. But it's a time of Christmas. And I don't want to be neglecting that. I brought up the verse of the day, folks. It's another long one. It's another verse for Christmas. But it has many different types of applications. So very simply, it's Luke 30 through 34, chapter 1. And the angel said to her, her being Mary, Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. Behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son. You shall call his name Jesus. Some transitions, Emmanuel. He will be great, and he will be called the Son of the Most High. And Lord God, give him the throne of his father David. And he will reign over the house of Jacob, that is Israel, folks, forever. And his kingdom there will be no end. And of his kingdom, sorry folks, there will be no end. Now, the devotional I have for this today includes verse 35, I believe it is. And Mary said to the angel, how will this be, since I am a virgin? Why I included that, folks, because, you know, two things happened in the first chapter of Luke. We had, it's basically, here comes Jesus. That's flying with Mike's take. It's here comes Jesus. And prior to this, in verses, 5 through 30, we're kind of on the road here, if you will, with Zechariah, who was a priest, which most priests, if not all priests, were of the tribe or from Jacob, the son from Levi. They were called Levites. So verse 5 through 7, though, has a different interesting move here. So in the days of Herod, king of Judah, there is a priest named Zechariah of the division of Abijah. He had a wife from the daughters of Aaron, and her name Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking blamelessly in all of the commandments, all of the statutes. But they had no child, because Elizabeth was barren, and both were now advanced in years. Skip ahead now to verse 18. This is where we're getting on track again. Wanted a little background here. It's the angel that would eventually come to Mary, came to Zechariah to tell him what was coming for him and his wife. And Zechariah said to the angel, how shall I know this? For I am an old man, and my wife is advanced in years. And the angel answered him in verse 19, I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I was sent, you can put this in there, by God to speak to you and bring you this good news. And behold, you will be silent, unable to speak, until the day that these things take place, because you did not believe my words, which will be fulfilled in their time. Meaning, basically, he not only challenged him, but in a way that he was disbelieving. You're right, you're an angel? Come on. And by the way, think about it. The priests were those who interceded for the Israelites. Meaning, take it a little bit further in context, they speak to God for them. And he's challenging an angel? So that's why I have the two sets of verses. We have Mary's question to the angel, how will this be, since I am a virgin? And Zechariah's question, how shall I know this? Zechariah treated it with disbelief, in my opinion. And the angel basically silenced. I mean, seriously, he couldn't talk, according to the verses in the Bible, until this foretold birth came. And by the way, the foretold birth that, oh man, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Gabriel, sorry, I just totally blent. Welcome to the 50s, folks. I don't mean the 1950s or the 2050s, which we haven't reached yet. I mean the year of living 50. He basically wasn't going to believe Gabriel. As he said, I'm an old man, my wife's advanced in her years. Where Mary answers in the more positively, how will this be? I am a virgin. And when you dig more into that story, in which you do, betrothed to a husband who, now, how did you become pregnant? I mean, that story comes later, folks. Those questions erupt quickly. And began to cause her trouble as well, but she didn't think of that in the beginning. She's trying to figure out, why me, Lord? Why? How will this be? I am a virgin. And Gabriel goes on and basically says the Holy Spirit will come over you and you will conceive. A lot to be drawn out of these two, folks. And let me ask you a question here, because I try to keep these within 5 minutes or so. Have you ever had questions asked of you, like a boss or a coworker or a friend, asking you to do something? How did you respond? Asking you to do something pretty important. Did you respond, me? Why me? In a kind of a disbelieving tone? Or in a way that comes up where you're inviting them to help you understand why they chose you? Sort of like how Mary did here in this verse today. Another verse to keep close at hand kind of ducktails with this. Those who are wise shine like the brightness of the heavens. This comes from chapter 12, verse 3 out of Daniel in the Old Testament. Again, those who are wise will shine like the brightness of heaven, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. So, next time you're asked that question, to do something possibly super important, like Mary, like Zachariah here, will you respond in a way that is curious and inviting as to, finding out what is, what do you have planned kind of deal, instead of, I'm too old, I'm too this. And folks, I'm going to tell you right now, right now, very guilty of saying I'm just too old. And most of the time, that's a true statement. But sometimes I wonder if I missed out on something really big. But think about this, folks. Will you think before responding, so that when you respond wisely? Because if you respond wisely, it will shine like Daniel verse, bright in heaven, as bright as the heavens, leading that other person to righteousness, or maybe closer to righteousness, begs to ask, maybe you'll be like the stars we see in the sky forever and ever. Okay, granted, if you're here in St. Louis, maybe a few months before we see the sky again at night, but elsewhere in the country, you'll see it quite a bit. Tongue-in-cheek there here. It's been very cloudy for a long time here in St. Louis, and it will be for a few more days, weeks, maybe months. But, getting back here, getting more serious again, folks. By you and the way you respond could lift up that person to make them shine as bright as heaven shines, and give them a step closer to the righteousness God seeks. Pretty good verses for the day. God bless, and I hope you have a great day, folks. Oh, sorry for sniffling in your ears there, folks. My bad. I try to mute myself before I sniffle. Just been pretty rough here the last couple days back from Arizona. My nose really took to that nice Arizona, seemingly pollen-free atmosphere there. I'm sure it gets me in another, something there will get me. If I was to live there. I alluded to it in that devotion about St. Louis and the clouds. We've been socked in here pretty good. Not one of my favorite weathermen here, but he did make the comment yesterday, and it has stuck. We're not going to see here in St. Louis temperatures above 50 degrees until next year. May not even get above 30. I don't know. I don't know the super long forecast to the end of the year, but I do know till Christmas, and getting out of the 30s looks really rough. So we're in for a cold stretch here, as probably much of the northern half of the country will be. Matter of fact, we may get super cold here, which is odd. Not unusual, just odd, this early into winter, because winter starts in about 6 days, folks, on the calendar. So the weathermen, they make it up whenever they want it to be. Oh, I think we'll start at June 1st. Why not? They really do, folks. Whatever their narrative wants to be, that's what they set it to. Okay, but as the title says, folks, we are on leg 3 of a tour that Millennium Aviation has underway. One of many tours. If you want to check them out, folks, here's a great airline. Why did it not do anything? Try again. Let me see if I somehow stupid performed that feat of typing it in wrong. I sure did. Doggone it. folks, it's airline. I finally got it right. You know, pull it away from that loose nut behind the wheel, and things seem to run just great. But anyway, it's a Millennium Aviation, Mac Air for short. Has a couple of divisions. I think open, cargo, history, charters. Pro division, where if you want to build your skills and certificates up virtually. Let me rephrase that. Virtually. These aren't real world. It's a good airline, folks. I mean, I do a lot of my streaming through them. Just because they're where I need to be when I need them to be there. And they do a great job. Great softwares. It's just a great website and everything. So head on over to the macairvirtual.com and check them out. There's some changes underway. Some we see, some still coming, some still don't mind that man behind the curtain kind of deal. But it's a really good platform, folks, to fly from. Great bunch of people to interact with on the Discord. Occasionally get on air, you know, with them and fly. Just a great bunch. Those of you who watch streams, I'd be remiss in saying the Captain Mac videos are out there. He's the CEO. Hence Mac Air. You haven't caught on yet? So check them out, folks. It's a really good VA to be along with. I belong to 3 others, but of them all, this one really hits a lot of the punch buttons a lot of people have. All right, folks, we're about an hour out from destination, so we'll go ahead and kind of look at what we've got ahead. It's a pretty simple flight today, folks. Simple in the fact we are not dealing with a star. We're just basically coming into an ILS approach, maybe visual. What we see out the window is probably what we're going to see there. So let's take a look at this. Okay, and to do that, we have to pull up Sim Toolkit. So as you can tell, we are right now approaching Djibouti, which is right here, folks. We're going to overfly it and then turn for the airfield. Now, the neat thing here with Sim Toolkit, first, folks, it's free. So if you don't have it, why? It's free. It provides you this. We can go back and look at past flights, like our flight into Sitka a few days ago, 497. And I can go in to view details. I can even look at the landing report, folks. And I mean, get all of that information. And by the way, folks, that was, yeah. So, really good piece of software to have, folks, for streamers and everyone. Because while we're in it for the fun of flight sim, we're in it to learn too. And that's where that chart comes in, or that landing report helps you figure out, okay, I landed on the center this time. How were my speeds? How did I, you know, it showed hitting pretty hard. We didn't run the video, but so we hit hard. Why? It helps us discern that. and then another X-Plane tool. The replay helps us even more. Which, by the way, I don't have to start. It starts on its own. Alright, so Sim Toolkit, here's where we are. Now I have Sky Vector available to me, and this I've got set to the World VR chart. Gives me an idea of what we're flying over. Oh, my nose is driving me nuts. Give me 1 second, folks. I hope my nose starts to behave here, so if not, I may have to replace it. No. Okay, and I see this came up again. Don't know why it does. Irritating. There we go. So we're up about right here, about to fly out over the little bit of the Indian Ocean, Persian Gulf area. As we head up towards the Red Sea and then parallel it a little bit. All right. Or we can open up Navigraph. And basically show the same thing. Now, for our arrival up here, alright, for our arrival, we're going to be flying basically for a star/approach. Hang on a second. I can get this out of my ears. Kind of distracting me. There we go. Alright, so we're coming into Asmara International, ILS DME runway 7. Next line gives us our approach and tower frequencies. But then I look more to that next line. That tells me what my localizer. Now the good thing with the Airbuses, for at least the 319, 2021s, actually 18, sorry, forgot that one. 330, 340, 380s, that's automatic, folks. Puts that in there. Much like the 777 does, 747-400 does, and probably the 87, not familiar with that plane at all. So, don't know. So, that's going to be put in there. We'll verify it though. Final approach course 072 from 12 miles out in. Now, GS. The intersection GS. Where are we? Where in the heck is that? Oh, glide slope. That's what we're talking about. Distance 4. So 4 miles out, we need to be indicating on the altimeter 8,842 feet above sea level. Which is, in reality, 1,180 feet above sea level. Yeah, you can tell over here, folks, why it's so high. Got a high altitude landing. So, bear with me 1 second here. Okay, so we're Class C. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to double check how we filed. Alright, so as you can tell, Class C. We're going to come out to DME 12.0 on the 279 radial. Arc around to the DME 12 inbound 072. Okay, and then we'll track in. Again, ILS 110.3, IAS 072. Okay, we're going to come over the VOR at or above 11,500 feet. Descending down to 9,800 feet. So as we're coming out, we're going to be descending to 9,800 feet by here. Then we'll start in to cross at 8,800 feet at distance 4. And then we'll track in. It's a 5.2. Okay, I'm sorry. Wow. Okay, if we're just localizer, it's a 5.2% descent, 3.0 if we're on the glide slope. Not sure what would determine that, but knowing this plane, we're going to probably be right about here, 755, 800 on the descent. Minimums for today, visibility has to be 900 meters or higher. And for C, we need ceiling at or above 7,930 feet or 269 feet AGL. And there you go, folks. Pappies will be on the left, Hiles for our lighting system, which probably will not be a factor, but in case, could be. So that gives you an idea of what we're running into here. And approach-wise, at this point in the flight, let's kind of, let's see. Oh. Doesn't really do a good job of projecting landing weight. So we got to kind of guesstimate it ourselves. Okay, so let's update. The latest weather we have, folks, it's updatable. You can't see this even if I brought TopCat up. It's from the 3rd. Problem is, it doesn't really say is that the 3rd of December, 3rd of November, because the next one for the TAF is for the 18th. Can't be December because that's still 3 days away. So very ambiguous weather here. We'll kind of get a better look at it when we get closer. We are planning the ILS to runway 7. So auto land, max brakes, medium. All right, and so like I said, 130. Like I said, we're close. We're going to be interpolating it, so we'll do the best we can. Oh, now that's really weird. It brought up my sounds. Really weird, folks. Them gremlins are hard at work today with us. So, let's just continue on, folks. We got about 50 minutes to go or so. And we'll start our descent. Oh, let's take a look down here where we're standing. 299, so we'll give it about another 200 miles and then we'll start in on it. back with you here for a second. Back in the corner there, where the water meets the land, that's Djibouti, the airport we went down to Mogadishu from, somewhere in there. And we're overflying it now to get up here to Eritrea, country Eritrea, I think it's called, here in northeastern Africa. Alright, let's do another system check here prior to top of descent. Alright, we just click all, folks. Okay. Got about 221 miles to go. like I said, folks, I'm still here. Finding good screenshots and taking them. That's actually not too bad. Interesting thing here, we took off at something like 27, 28 feet above sea level. We'll be landing around 7,600. Just under a couple of miles. Well, about a mile and a half up. Oh, excuse me. So, really want to thank you all for being a part of Flying with Mike today. It's my privilege every day to take to the air and hopefully entertain. Sometimes I overstep and where I try to catch other people doing it, I find myself stretching into getting into raunchy stream, and I again apologize for that earlier. But I hope y'all enjoy. We should be in the landing phase here, well, approach, in the next 10-15 minutes. And if you're like me and you like to fly on VATSIM, but not sometimes in the areas that get ridiculously overbearing on pilots sometimes, talking of areas like Los Angeles, Boston, New York, and I'm not talking traffic-wise, I'm talking what they want pilots, and then they'll take their flight plan and just say, no, well, we want you to do it this way. Now, I know they do that in the real world, not as often as I've seen them do it on VATSIM, or flat out say you can't do that. I watched that 40 minutes on the ground in Vegas once, and a guy just simply wanted to go direct to San Francisco. And the guy said, nope, can't do it. Flat out was refusing it. Like, really? This ain't the real world, guys. As I like to tell myself many times, I say to the controllers many times, lighten up, Francis. Great movie, Stripes, that comes from. We're all here to have fun. All right, so let's see what it looks like ahead of us. It just amazes me because let me bring some Toolkit up here. Okay, as you see our course here, folks, it doesn't seem that far from the ocean. But we rise almost a mile and a half, folks, 7,600 MSL for landing. That is wild. And it's that way all over the continent, folks. I mean, Johannesburg, I mean, it was unreal. And then the drop back into Cape Town was just, you know, it just amazes me. Continents are so fun, you know, folks, that's what flight simming is so much fun about. You can fly the U.S., enjoy it, get up into Alaska, enjoy the wacky weather changes, and they are wacky sometimes, folks. Or you can use my other favorite aviation term, wonky. But the differences in the areas you fly. Now, North America, it's pretty... And I said it correctly, the continent of North America, to include most of Central America, not all, but most. They keep it at one transition level, 18,000. Now, conversely, let's go over to Europe, where each country you fly in sets a different transition level, and in some, different centers or radars, as some countries call them, control or whatever, set their own. Really gets mind-boggling. Then you got the Far East with it. Just everything is just so neat to learn about. And then, of course, you learn about topography, geography, all of that good stuff here. And I know I can hear, I don't want to go back to school. Well, you know, flight simming is kind of neat how it brings it all together. You could go fly into Bhutan, which is one of the trickier approaches out there, or Lukla. Really tricky one. Not so much tricky, and all you got to do is line up for the runway. It's a runway that goes up the mountain. So that makes it a little tricky. Or down to Nariano in South America. High altitude flying here, folks. This, you know, even though they're jet engines out there, it still puts it taxes the pressurization system. So, for a super easy approach, El Alto. But then, when you see the airfield elevation at 13,000 MSL, think about living at that altitude. You folks in Denver, or those who travel to Denver here in the United States, think about how you felt after a day or two there until you got used to it. Double it, triple it down in El Alto, Bolivia, I think it is. Yeah, it's amazing. So, till you get used to it. And then, those are altitudes, folks. We're going on oxygen in these airplanes. They're living it. A lot of people living it. Very fascinating to learn little things about geography out there. That's why I love flight simming. It's a learning session every flight. Be it, okay, how did I mess up that landing? Or how did I make that landing pretty good? Or how did I do a really good landing? Or what is this El Alto? What is this Eritrea? You know, what kind of histories are here? It's, you know, it opens a lot of doors, folks. I hope you enjoy flight simming. I have for 20 years plus. Don't see myself stopping anytime soon. It helps gap a dream that I really had of flying these. That I let slip away. I don't sugarcoat it. I let it slip away. And it helps fill the gap. So, because believe me, no offense to X-Plane, no offense to Microsoft. Okay, a lot of offense. No, just kidding. To Microsoft. Just kidding, folks. I'd rather be in the real cockpit than this. But life happens. DigiDriver, how's it going? I see you there. Hang on. God bless, man. Good afternoon to you as well. Hope you're having a blessed day. We've had a lot of rain here, so we've got a lot of blessings to the drought that we've had going away. And folks, this is, I believe, I don't put the release candidate up anymore with the title because it takes up so much space. Release candidate 5. Frame rates, again, for those who may have watched other streams and heard they're horrible, maybe I just didn't get to hear when he fixed it. Mine seemed to be doing outstanding, out and inside the plane. It's almost tempting me to turn settings up to get rid of these jaggies here. But I'll leave the temptation. You know, it's a temptation. I've got to push. We're starting to get some clouds. I was told the clouds are even much better in this. So, again, not the kind I'd expect at 38,000 feet, but hey, got to start somewhere. Alright, we're over northern Africa, northeastern Africa, along the Red Sea out there, folks. The famous Red Sea that God parted for Moses. Now, here's some trivia for you. And there is no right answer, by the way. Where was it parted? Many different locations have been called into question. And the good thing is we'll never know because the event occurred, 6,000 years ago, so. But, I mean, the archaeologists are doing a good job at finding some things, so. But, one thing though, folks, about that question I just said, we are way south of Egypt. So, I'm not sure where our next leg takes us, but if we get closer to it, folks, we'll show some of the areas where the archaeologists believe the actual crossing occurred. I just go with, hey, they crossed the Red Sea. Pretty simple. Matter of fact, I have to look, folks. I did it to myself. Now I gotta look to see what is our next leg with. It helps to be. Alright, now let me see. Get the right document opened up helps all the time. Oh. Adidas Abba Oil International. I think that's Ethiopia. Yep. Alright, going back to Ethiopia now. Alrighty. Like I said, we're going to be bouncing all over the place here from Ethiopia to Khartoum, a place called Juba. Interesting. We're going to be just all over this area. Tebi, Digitally. So, and that's how this one will work out, folks. Now, we may not stream each and every one of these 20 legs, but some of them are pretty interesting looking. So, we'll, you know, case by case basis, we'll figure, because I do want to finish it for Mac Air. I don't want to take the amount of time flying Alaska did earlier. So I'm going to try and get this done hopefully by January or parts of into early January. 20 legs. So, what say you? How do those clouds look to you? Especially those of you who have been here through most of all the beta changes. And I'll be respectful and get rid of some toolkit there. I'm so bad about that sometimes. I'll tell you now, folks, if you really want to get a good test of the clouds, northern tier of the United States. Actually, St. Louis might not be bad. I mean, we don't have rain today, but we have a cloudy, overcast sky, but it'd be neat to see how the textures work out within the layers up there. All right, we're 47 out, so let's get our information in here as best we can. What I'm going to do is pull it right off here. He says cautiously. Doesn't go out far enough. All right, Digi, thanks for showing up. We sure appreciate you. Oh, look, there's aircraft carriers, oil wells. Hey, that's pretty cool out here. Hope you have a great day. We'll catch you on another stream. Thanks for the support, though. We appreciate you. All right, well, we're going to have to just go with what we have here, folks. Let's see if we can get some information out of... No METAR available. All right. Hang on, folks. I'm just going to bring up TOPCAT again. Do our best here. We got to scramble. Okay, temperature 15, which I'm pretty sure is wrong. 270 at 4. Alright, we're Class C 269DH. 269. All right. Alright, so we are starting our descent, folks. Sorry about that, had to kind of scramble real quick. So, hopefully we'll see Diggy before the arrival here. Which will be in about, what do we got? Sim Toolkit. 14 minutes to go. Okay, and we'll just kind of ease on down here, folks, till this blue line gets to here. That's when we'll see that green dot right here. This will be when it matches. This will be between here and here. That is our managed descent optimums. If we find ourselves dragging the descent, we can pull an open descent and nose over and pull the throttles back. Like I said, there's no stars into this airport. The next trip, the next leg here on Mac Air for this is to Ethiopia. Adidas Ababa, I believe was the name of the airport. So, all right, so we are slowly coming down, folks. Alright, let's get in here and check a couple things. Okay, there's IAS 11030. Good, course looks good. And when this green ball, folks, is between this line and this line, you're on the managed descent. Even though it shows there right now, we're just working our way till we get to that optimal descent angle. And you see this on Boeing, folks. You'll have that little chart right here with what looks like a glide slope going up and down here on your nav display. And you also sometimes see it as your glide slope again over here, kind of letting you know. So terrain looks pretty rugged below us.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seats are in an upright position, tray tables are folded, and seat belts are securely fastened. Also, make sure all carry-on items are stowed under the seat in front of you, or in the overhead bins. Please turn off all your electronic devices until we are parked at the gate. We hope you have enjoyed the flight with us, and would like to remind you that cushions and blankets as well as parts of the aircraft are to be left in the plane. Thank you.
I'm sorry, folks. That last part cracks me up. Seat cushions and cushions are part of the plane and should be left in the plane and are not for yours to take. That really cracks me up, folks. We're going to go ahead, pause the music for a little bit here as we descend in. Just letting you take a look at the scenery out here. Just look at that out the window, folks. Pretty high terrain out here. Let me see if I can't figure out where that might be. Yeah, I think we just reached our optimum climb and have just nosed over a little. Gonna look up here real quick. Yep. See how the green dot is below, between the lines, folks? So now we're more managed. And from 1,000 feet a minute, we're down to about 18, 19, 20. So we're getting, you know, into a more steeper descent. Now out this window, we're going to start seeing some more clouds. I want to see how this looks, and I'm not seeing any weather to pull up to know what we're, you know, flying over airport wise. So and I know the Jaggies are, because my anti-alias isn't, you know, screaming in here at max. So I'm gonna get the Jaggies, I get it. And since I do know a dev from now, every now and then pops in, go ahead and show my settings again. Feel free to interject what I need to adjust. This is the one that'll help with the Jaggies, I know. So and again, folks, like all of my videos, good, bad, or ugly, they end up on YouTube and Facebook. There's my channels on both. Check them out. Good or bad, the crashes and the great landings that we've done. The horrible flights with OBS and connectivity issues to smooth sailing, like for the most part, knock on wood. So I knock on the good old noggin above the shoulders. And I know there's no rain reported, but let me push that up. All right, so we're below 18,000. Transition here is 11,500, so we're getting close to transition. Okay, we've started descent. QNH will be set once we reach the transition. Tomorrow's stream, folks, will be out of Hong Kong, flying the 747-200. You want to find out where we're going on the about, just below there on the stream, you can find the schedule. Wait a minute, 11,500. That's when we come over the VOR. Holy man. Okay. Wow, that close. Whew. A lot of things gonna start happening really quick. All right, let's try the map one more time. Okay. Gotta see those, folks. All right, if you're reading, folks, the sky conditions, negative 3405 scattered, 5,200 feet OFU. That's cracking me up. Sorry, folks. Winds light variable 3022. A negative number for the clouds. Oh. Flight simming always cracks me up sometimes. That's great. Alright, let's see how this is transpiring. I think I need to drop it on our own now. Okay, what you see here, folks, is not how we're going to do it. We're going to come off on a heading of 269er. I think that's what it's calling for. 279er. It's close. And then 12 miles come in. All right, what say you as we get set up here to look at these clouds? Okay. From past builds that we've had here with the betas, much improved. That looks pretty good, folks. I mean, it's default. Keep that in mind. I don't care if it's MustFuss. I don't care if it's X-Plane. I don't care if it's prepared FSX. Your default. Don't expect active sky quality. You can go buy active sky. But for a default, out of the box, I can't ask for more than that, folks. That looks great. The stuff above, I mean, we can argue about, but again, it's default. So, I'm going to say great job, X-Plane. Watching the evolution through the betas and the release candidates, they have really done. Yeah, I know, the Jaggies. I know that's because of my anti-aliasing, I'm pretty sure. But folks, that's screenshot worthy. All right, so we are through 17,000.
18,000 feet.
Getting a little fast, so let's pump a little speed brake. Okay, so it looks like we're going to come across just fine. At or above, here we come. All right, let's get our KQ&H. I'm going to go ahead and set that. Okay, folks. Alright folks, I am seeing some spectacular scenery ahead of us. Wow. Don't know if it's like that in the real world. That is wow, folks. Okay, there's 10 miles. Okay, crossing 12 miles. I'm going to put a mile or two beyond it. All right, about to green dot speed. We come on the localizer. Still looking for the glide slope.
Gear down.
$2,500.
Okay. Now I'm looking for the runway. Okay, so we're looking at 130 to come down to.
$2,500.
Okay, I am not seeing
2,500.
runway out here, folks. Okay, let's get the brakes set up medium, brake fans on. Arm the speed brakes. Going flaps 3. Up, I got a runway, but let's get all the checks done. Oh, have all the lights on. Yeah, we'll stay on the autopilot for now. That is so cool. There's a so cool. Got a feeling we're gonna lose the runway.
1,000.
Flap set, here we come, folks.
500.
500. 400.
100 above.
Landing.
300.
300.
Minimum. 200.
200.
100.
100.
50.
50. 40.
20.
30.
Retard.
20.
10. 5.
10.
Retard.
Ah. Well, like I said, folks, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that was an ugly one. Hang on a second here, folks. Let me, yeah, we're gonna flip around here on the runway. Before you all tell me, I already know I should have gone around. Same thing happened in Mogadishu. So, no, not blaming it on trim, blaming it on the pilot on this one, folks. What happened in Alaska, that was the pilot. I mean, the trim. Not here. Horrible landing, folks. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Like I said, I floated up too high, let it pull back on the power. Should have got in on the power quicker than I did. And she pretty much smashed into the runway. We have not had good flights with Mac Air here for the last couple. Alright, let's clear the runway. Oh, I know why it was so bad. I forgot to announce I was landing here. Yeah. Alright. After landing, lights off. Strobes off. Spoilers down, flaps up, transponder standby, weather radar off. And APU. Horrible, horrible landing, folks. My apologies to Mac Air and the damage of the Qatar aircraft. Thankfully, it does not appear any damage occurred. Although landing at that rate that I saw, six or was it 800? Understand if I did. That's pretty cool though with the engines. To be honest, I've never seen it at our airport. We've had some pretty foggy days of late. Let me see if I've got a parking chart here for this place. Nope. Alright, well, we'll just do our best. Okay, let's call that good enough. I don't know how they park here. I don't even have a chart. Huh. All right, folks, welcome in. A horrible landing, like I said, once again. APU should be available. Oh, it has to be started, dummy. All right, so we're cranking up. Let's see if we can hear it in the back. Okay, let's see. APU bleed on. All right, folks, there we go. We've got all of it hooked up. Oh, we have everything. All right, let's get on. Oh, we're set, and there you go, folks. Let me log this flight. They got us at 676. Let's see how that takes. All right, and clear this. All right. All right, so there you go, folks. So much for guessing 150. Yeah, I didn't even guess. That's what caused me to land so bad, original Godspeed. Is that new with the engines? No, this is the Flight Factor A320. I don't have the mod that came to X-Plane12. I don't even know if it's good for 12 yet. Lativia. So you got the CFM engines here. All right, folks. So let's file my disastrous report with Millennium Aviation. Let's take a look at it here, shall we? Helps to bring it up for you to be able to see it. All right, so let me get Navigraph out of the way. Push the flight. Okay, Sim Toolkit logged me at 878, so there might have been a little bit of a bounce, or 2, or 3, or 4. But anyway, all we do is click on it, click View Details, View Landing Report. I'll tell you right now, I was at the right landing speed on whichever landing. I stayed in the landing zone. Oh, wow. All right, so what do I mean by landing zone? First off, here's your threshold where the blue dot is. This set of hash marks, the last set of hash marks going down the runway you're landing, before the ones at the other end, tell you are the landing zone, and they're 500 feet apart from the threshold zone, 500, 1,000, and so forth. So we landed right about 2750. We're getting to the end of it, a little bit right of the center line, at 878 feet a minute. So we'll have technicians looking at the plane here for a hard landing, get this plane cleared out of here. Overall, ideal on the heading, pitch. I over-rotated on the flare, and that's what caused it to billow up, and that's when I should have punched it, went around. But I got such a long runway, folks. So, oh well. Like I say, folks, this is for entertainment, simulation purposes only. Don't do what I did in the real world, especially in one of those. Now, the Cessna, folks, you got the entire world ahead of you trying to land on that run. All right, so let's see what we can do reliving it. I really don't want to, but you know what? Like I say, folks, the good, the bad, the ugly. Just because sometimes they don't go away on some of these mods, I go ahead and move them to be safe. I turned EP. I don't think I did. No. Good. All right, let's rewind and see where the damage happened. Hopefully. Yeah, I forgot to come off VATSIM. Oh well, it did it for me. And let's get some appropriate music. Not that one. Look at that scenery, folks. I don't know what it looks like in Musfuss here, but that looks pretty good, folks. Wow. Runway right now is in the clouds. right there, the over flared. I see many mistakes. Over flared. Then I lowered the nose too much. Well, yep, there's where I screwed up. Is that over pulling the nose back a little too much on the flare. Alright, well, let's go back out and see how the passengers enjoyed it. Didn't look too bad from the emergency exit. Yeah, it looked pretty bad. Alright, one more time. Let's watch it from this angle. Get on the sunny side. See how I'm over-rotated here for flaring? That's why she started to climb. Hence, the 3-point landing. And the mechanic checking the aircraft for hard landing. Well, folks, it's been a fun flight. Fun 3.5 hours, let's call it. And welcome to Enrique, however you say this place. Folks, I want to thank you for flying with Mike. Look forward to flying with you again tomorrow. We'll be in the 747. Check the schedule to see the route. For now, folks, we just head on back to our little abode we had at the airport, and we'll basically call it for the night. There we go. All right, as the sun should begin to set here, we took off early morning. So anyway, folks, we're on the ground here. People are coming off. Yeah, a little bit of kissing the ground. Folks, thanks for being a part of the stream. Thanks, Original Godspeed, for showing up. Digi, thanks for being here. Everyone, we thank you all. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow out of Hong Kong in the 747. Y'all have a great night. God bless. We'll see you then.